Yeah. I
I
think,
saw it.
well, that part,
You know,
so
like
for me, I'm like this, like, regardless of where you stand on the issue, right? Whether you're for it, against it, all that kind of stuff, my thing is this. Don't tell me that this, like you said, don't tell me this didn't happen. Like, don't look me in my face and say, well, there were no side effects. There were no issues. Don't tell me that it was a complete success. Don't tell me that. Like, don't lie to me because you, like you said, you experienced it. I experienced it. We were there. We've seen stuff go wrong. And I guess the thing that gets me a lot is when you say, well, even though I'm looking at it, you're telling me, well, no, it ain't really there. Like
yeah,
now you're playing me
no,
like I'm an idiot. Like you're
absolutely,
telling me
100%.
like you're playing me for I'm a fool to say that
Yeah,
like I
like I can't
like I'm
read or I
looking
don't
square
see
at it. You're
things. You
telling
know,
me, oh no. That's not what you think it is. What? You know what I'm saying? Like
that's not what you
what
think
you
it is.
what you mean? Like I see it, smell it, feel it, touch it, like I'm looking right at it. You telling me that ain't it. And the fact that you're telling me that, oh, you're really tripping. It's like, have you ever seen that movie Anger Management? Yeah, yeah, you remember the airplane scene
Yeah,
where it's like, sir, we need you to calm
yeah.
down. He's like, I'm fine. I'm calm. Sir, we need
He's
you to
like,
calm down.
I'm
I'm
you
fine.
calm down. Yeah,
I'm okay. Sir, please
yeah.
don't
There were
raise, please
people.
don't get violent, don't raise your, is there a problem? You know what I'm saying? It's like, but that's what's happening where we as a society, like, we're being told it ain't what you think. It ain't what you see.
Well, 100%. And we talked about this months ago. I said, look, the biggest things that get people upset in this country are guns, abortion, women's rights overall, and the LGBTQ. And I told you, as the election cycle gets closer, we're going to see an uptick in school shootings, which we just did. Okay, you're going to have LGBTQ in the news, which they hit two birds with one stone on this last shooting. All right, and you're going to have, oh, I'm sorry, and racism.
Well, they just
You're going to have
had, they just had
another
a
police officer
situation
kill
where the
another
young
unarmed black
kid
man.
went to the wrong house and the guy opened the door and apparently shot him. I still haven't read all the details of that, but yeah, apparently the
I
kid was
didn't read all the
going to pick
details.
up his
Yeah,
brothers, went to the wrong house. He's like a saxophone player in the band.
he was like one
Yeah, he went to the wrong
block
house.
away.
He not rings the
Yeah,
doorbell. Apparently, I said I don't know all the details, but apparently he went to the house, opened the door, and it was a guy who happened to be of the Caucasian persuasion. He was a young little black kid. He shot him in the head. Now, fortunately, the kid, I guess, is stable now and is not didn't lose his life. But that's one issue that has transpired, and that goes with racism and the gun situation. And so the reality is this, that we as a whole, and this goes with mental health, because suicide is on the super rise right now. You know what I'm saying? I think what suicide is number 2 cause of death right now. It passed homicide and it passed homicide. And so with that, plus the violence, plus the lunacy. I mean, it's really what it is. I mean, it's like, it's lunacy, it's absurdity, that's going on, and the lack of priority, like the fact that we're prioritizing a billionaire, Trump, and his questionable sex acts, and paying the girl to be quiet. Like, that's what's
yeah.
dominating the news, and not the fact that you got a global alliance that is
Don't give a
prepping the
shit. Yeah,
world for the collapse of the West. Like, when we're not talking about the,
yeah.
all kinds of nature issues, all of the weather issues that we're having, earthquakes, that a doggone garage collapsed in New York the other day in Manhattan. You see one little break about that, and then you keep moving. We're not talking about the fact that China's over there messing with Taiwan. We're not talking about the fact that all this information is coming out about Ukraine and Russia and all that, and what's really going on over there. Like,
Yeah.
we really not even talking about the
Yeah.
fact that there's a war in Africa right now nobody even talked about, between Ethiopia. Not even mentioned.
Not
There's a war in Africa.
because nobody
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 cares.
nobody cares. Nobody cares about it. Like, Africa's not the hot ticket
Right.
right now. The Middle East was the hot ticket for 20 years. Everybody wanted
Right.
a piece, a piece of the Middle East, right? All the Western powers were there. Hell, they're all still there, all right? I went to, I can tell you that some of the embassies that are there, you still have France,
Right.
Germany, Bulgaria. Like, I don't even remember them fighting there, and stuff like that. So now the transfer is
Right.
Ukraine. So now Europe is the hot ticket. So we don't give a shit about Africa. They don't even care about the Middle East anymore. And Asia's kind of like on the back burner, but I think they're saving
Right.
Asia if people lose focus
if you lose
on
interest in
Europe. Like,
Europe,
as soon as
we
that
got to
starts
find something new.
when that simmers down, you'll see something happen in Asia. And if that goes out, then all of a sudden we'll be like, oh,
Yeah,
by the way, there's been this war
Ethiopia
going
and
on,
Ethiopia, yeah.
you know, in Africa
So,
between
you
for
know,
last.
and matter of fact,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say, like, you know, now we live in a society now where they want you, microwave society, just like you said, 10-second clips, fucking 5-minute videos. What they're doing is every time that there's a big incident, they hurry up. They let you have they flood you with information, whether it's true or not. They don't even let you decide, and then they move on to the next one. Like that train, like we talked about the train crash in Palestine, Ohio, it poisoned the water for miles and miles around. That was in the news for a week, and then all of a sudden there's like, oh, here's another train crash, and then now we're talking about train crashes
in a month.
You know, now we're talking 5 crashes in a month.
Yeah, have you seen what's going on in France?
Good.
And this.
Yeah, are you talking about when they were trying to raise the age of retirement to 64?
Yeah,
62?
But
is that the one you're talking about?
Do you know that, like, so it's interesting, and this might even get us violating the standards just now, because because apparently there's some differences, like here on IG, the France, you look at France on IG and it's just all pictures of vacation, Eiffel Tower. But if you go on TikTok, which is ironic that they're trying to ban it right now, but you go on TikTok and apparently people are showing videos. Apparently the French people are rising up against the government like crazy. It's protests.
Yeah,
protests all over the nation. There's protests. I mean, and they're like not going to work. Their trash is piling up. They stormed the BlackRock headquarters apparently. You know, like that's over there. Like it's like one of the biggest uprisings, revolution style, in the last 50, 100 years. Like, you're talking about hundreds of thousands. And like I said, I can only speak to what little clips and things that I've seen, speaking of like clips. But I mean, like, that's a big deal. And that doesn't get any attention, because you, of course, don't want to put that out there, because you know what happens. If the world sees the French people rising up, well, shoot, we could do that too. Why not?
If you see it in a Western country, the rest of the West will look at it. And the biggest wrench that you could throw in any plans that are going on would be major Western powers, the United States at the head, turning around and saying, we're just not doing this anymore. Because right now at this point, they're still vulnerable. There's still enough people and enough, honestly, I'm going to say, there's enough guns and ammunition that you can do something about. We are an armed society. And the reason why things aren't worse than what they are is because they know that it would only take one major incident for a lot of the, you know, people will call them crazies, but your militias to pop up, your veterans to pop up. Well, for do it for the Vine generation, a few minutes of their attention is all you're going to get. Nobody knows how to read and look up credible info. That's true. If you see it on Facebook, it's true. If you see it on Instagram, it's true. Nobody wants, you know, I could sit here and just make up stories and be like, that's fact, and leave it up to you guys. And if you're lazy enough, you won't even go look it up later on. You know, and that's just not what we want to do here. We want to talk about, you know, we're trying to talk about the truth. You know, we're trying to have hard conversations about, you know, things that people don't really talk about. You know, racism, mental health, just everything, just the way the country's going. You know, and one thing we usually come back to is, like, you know, it's not about just not trusting the government. Like, the truth is out there, just like they said in the X-Files. Like, you have to go and find it. You need to go and find the facts for yourself and read stories. You know, one thing we do on the show, like we're talking about that poor kid that just gets shot. You know, I didn't read all the facts. I don't know everything that happened. Everything that sounds like this dude just fucking murdered a kid. You know, and so if he murdered a kid, well then he's in.
I think he just got.
We got to take care of that. Like,
last thing I saw is he just got brought in. He just got arrested. And they're gonna, you know, probably charge him. The kid is stable, so fortunately he did survive. I don't know all the details of what.
Okay. Well,
he did. I think he got the head, which is crazy. Like, that's
I mean, I've seen some crazy stuff, man. It's possible. my whole thing is like, how are you going to justify shooting this kid
Right.
if he rang your doorbell? Like, if you ring the doorbell, you usually don't have that. I'm going to err on the side of caution and say you're not
Right.
trying to rob a place if you're ringing the
Right.
doorbell in the middle of the night, because that would alert people to you. So everything that I've heard about it so far, it sounds like he was going to like Lake Terrace, and he went to like Lake Street or something like. I don't know if that's the name of it, but it was so similar. So he went to the right address on the wrong street.
Yeah,
I think he was picking up his brother, or picking up a friend, or picking somebody up, his brother. And he just rang the doorbell, and now he's shot in the face because I don't know, because he's black, or because he's a kid, or because that's an old man. Like, I don't know. Regardless of anything, like, obviously that dude needs to be held accountable for just shooting someone through the door. Now, had he been kicking in the door, we're having a different conversation. But if this person showed up, rang your doorbell,
they're announcing their presence.
That's the
like,
thing
here I am.
I want to sit on.
You say, hey, get off my property.
Yeah, ring your doorbell. But that's also, the media likes to sensationalize things without telling the truth. I was reading an article. I'll have to go. I can find it and send it to you. I'll post it. But they were talking about this 17. So it was a 17-year-old male that killed a 38-year-old transgender.
Yeah.
It was his teacher, right? Male into female teacher, right? So let's dial this back. So a 38-year-old man targeted a 17-year-old boy, and then when the boy found out that he had just had sex with a man, he killed him. But when they said that, when it was broadcasted, it was sensationalized as man kills transgender woman, because that's a hot ticket that sells, not boy kills pedophile predator. Right. Because that's what it was.
The media, man, it's so bad because, I was a PAO. So, working in public affairs, man, it was like, it's crazy.
I can only imagine.
Bro, it's crazy being in the public affairs world, being in the media world, and writing stories and having oh, you can't say that, change that, can't say that, no, take that out. And I'm like, are we going, like, here's a fun fact. I don't know if you knew this. Did you know that, like, Marines Magazine and, like, Navy Times and all that, that's not written by Marines or Navy, right? Yeah, they contract people. They contract outside journalists and outside broadcasts and stuff like that to do those things. Most of our stuff is internal. But it's like, being in the media, it frustrates me because I used to be in the media. And because when I look at the media and the way that it's broadcast now and the way the stories are coming out and the way it's being utilized, I take this back, the way it's being weaponized for the purpose of controlling and distracting the population. I tell people all the time, I say, listen, I have no issue with you wanting to do social justice. I have no issue with you wanting to fight for social justice. I do think we need social justice reform and all these kind of things. And within reason, when it's built on truth. That's a big one. Social justice needs to be built on truth and not on emotion or feeling or what you think happened. But what I will say is this. If you don't think that these social issues are not being weaponized and strategically placed in front of your face and manipulated and crafted for the purpose of distracting you from the bigger picture of what's really going on, if you don't think, I put it like this, whenever something happens, I always say, instead of looking to the left where they tell you, look to the right and see what they're distracting you from. Because from the same token, you look at stuff like, and I used the example again with Trump, right? You look at the whole issue with Trump and Chick, right? That's totally irrelevant to anybody's life in real life. Like, him and this chick I don't care. They have nothing to do with my life. It has no influence on what I got going on. But that dominated the media for like a week. You know what I'm saying? Talking about Trump. Oh, Trump is good. Trump is, but we're not dominating the media. The BRICS Alliance. We're not dominating the media, all these other things. So you got to look and see what else is going on. Like, what is really happening over here? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, the reality is that I found that society doesn't want truth. We want to be comforted. And we want to be comforted, and we want to be a part of something. But if that something goes against what makes us comfortable, then we will step back or we will just ignore it. And that's the part that's the problem. Oh, okay. All right.
That hasn't been. He had. That's not. That has not
That
been
is,
proven.
yeah,
That's just
that's
what
a
he
statement. I
said.
mean,
Okay.
hey, look, and I'm not saying, hey, listen, I can't vouch for or say it's okay or not okay or what was done or what. I wasn't there. I don't know what's going on. But at the end of the day, I know that him and his sex life and paying the girl to be quiet has nothing to do with what we got going on a grand scale. And what I find interesting about that is the fact that the girl, Stormy Daniels, she came out and said he shouldn't go to jail. Like she came out, like so that's
Yeah.
my thing. Like the
Yeah.
person that you're
It's never
accusing
been.
him of violating comes out and says that yeah, he was kind of a jerk, but he did pay me, and it wasn't really that like deep, and he shouldn't really go to jail for it. And honestly, I was just trying to get my things paid. Like it's like and I'm not like I said once again.
Yeah, well, the thing is like there's a difference between being like a Trump
Right,
supporter and just like not giving a shit. And now I don't I just
right,
don't give a shit because one, Trump's not my president. All right, so I
right,
don't care. I care about what's going on in the country now. Two,
right.
they've been trying to find something on him for since he was in office, and everything that they find, they just burn themselves on. They wanted his tax returns. They found out he did file tax returns. Did he pay taxes?
Right.
No. Why? Because he used all the legal loopholes not to pay taxes. You know what I'm saying? So like now
Well,
they're mad
everybody
at
else,
him
it's
for
just a
doing
lot
what
of
every other
money, and he's
billionaire
well. You
does. So
got
I'm
to
like,
think,
cool.
he was you got to
Oh,
think, regardless of what you feel about him, he was a wrench in the whole system. Like he disrupted the system. Now, whether you agree with the system, don't agree with the system, whatever the case is, he was a disruption, and that bothered people.
yeah. Well, one of the leading theories, conspiracy theories, if you will, is that everything was set for Hillary Clinton to take to win the presidency, and that everything that's happened since was supposed to happen 4 years ago. Nobody, look, dude, I voted for
Hold on
Trump
one
the first
second.
time because
Yeah.
I couldn't vote for Hillary. Yep. Well, he knew the system because they're all part of the system. It's not like these people know who each other are. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like every single politician is a part of the system. It's not like we're getting good quality people. I think the only way we break out of that is by allowing more than two people on the debate stage. I voted for. I mean, I don't care about talking about politics. I'll be open and honest. You especially, Majestic. But I voted for a libertarian. I voted for Dr. Jo Jorgensen. Go look her up. Like, there's literally nothing bad about her. And if you find something, send it to me. Because I'm definitely open to to people correcting me. She was a doctor of psychology from Auburn. She did not have there was no, zero allegations of sexual assault or misconduct in her entire history. She's never really been in politics before. And she wants to basically shrink the government. So I couldn't see anything wrong. And I guarantee you, because I've heard her speak, had she gotten on the debate stage with Trump and with Biden, she'd have blown people away. She's a very intelligent speaker. Tulsi Gabbard, she's a Democrat, but she's a moderate Democrat. She's not a crazy. I think if she was to run for president or run for vice president with a strong Republican candidate, maybe bring the parties together, could bring the country together, we might actually get some stuff done while they're in office. But until we get to a point where we are not polarized and you have to be this and you have to be that, so you have to be left and be liberal and be a Democrat, or you have to be right and be conservative and be a Republican, well, then we're just pretty much fucked until something big happens, and I don't know, a great reset or whatever the apocalyptic people want to say happens. Because politically, we can't do anything in this country because it's always conservatives blocking liberals and liberals blocking conservatives. And if you go far enough right, you end up on the left. You go far enough left, you end up on the right. It's one bird with two wings, or two wings of the same bird. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's so so polarized. It's crazy. I don't think we have enough time to talk about it, but we talked about polarization before when it comes to topics, and instead of people just sitting down and meeting and discussing the art of discussing things. That's why we started this show. We're two people. We have opposing views on a lot of things. I know it sounds like we agree a lot, but we disagree. We decided we're gonna do it with theology based show eventually, where we kind of talk about God and religion and belief systems and stuff like that. Because I know it's a touchy subject, and that's exactly what we like to do here, is talk about touchy subjects. Just understanding why people become so polarized by anything. And politics is a really big one, because politics is weaponized in the way that people make you feel bad for your beliefs and your system. Especially now today, where if you don't jump on the bandwagon of what everybody believes in, like, you're just a bad person, like, just overall, like, racist, bigot, whatever. And if you just want to sit down and have a conversation, you're also a racist or a bigot or just a bad person in general. So it spans both sides of the aisle. There's crazies on both sides of the aisle. But nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about, like, how crazy it is that everybody is so hell-bent on being conservative or so hell-bent on being liberal that you're literally willing to wage violence against the other person just because they don't think the same thing that you do. As long as respect is the foundation, you can talk about anything. Absolutely. I don't want to sit down and have this show where we attack people. I actually like to know why people believe certain things. There are certain things that, I just don't really have a lot of experience with talking about. Politics and religion are things that I do have a decent amount of experience in, but there's other things that I don't. Reese also brings another part to the table that we've gotten into before when it comes to, race and the interactions and cultural problems that we have in the United States. Because I can only speak from, the cultural side of white people, even though they say we don't have a culture. And Reese is, obviously he's a black man, so he can come from that side. And we often sit here and talk about just the shit we see and why it's ridiculous and why it's not healthy and why it's not helping our country heal. It's not helping our country at all. We're in this continual cycle where, we're conditioning white people to hate black people and black people to hate white people. So, how is that healthy for us? How is that going to be open to differences and respect other people's choices? Absolutely. As long as your choices don't hurt other people, I believe that you should be able to do whatever you want. Yeah, damn near whatever you want. As long as you doing what you're doing does not hurt anybody else or, impede someone else from their lifelong pursuit of happiness, then by all means, do what you want. I mean, it's pretty simple. People just need to learn to mind their own business. I've become such a mind my own business person. That's why I started this show, because I just want to mind my own business, but I feel like everybody wants to mind my business, so I might as well just put it out there on the air. Whatever. I don't know if Reese is coming back. This might be the end of the show, guys. I don't know. Does anybody have any questions for us, all four of you that stuck with us? Anything they want to add? White man have culture, apple pies. That's all I know. Okay, fair enough. We're the baking culture. All right, we're the baking culture. Bread. White people make good bread too. Let's be real.
Oh, snap.
You ever had German bread before?
Okay.
It's fantastic.
All right, so hopefully I missed an exciting time. My apologies. My sister, my sister lives with me now, and she has a dog, and so
okay.
I tend to, when dogs seem to sense, things going on, she don't bark at all. Like, this dog, like, rarely ever barks. So when she does bark at stuff, typically it's because she senses, there may be somebody in the perimeter or something walking around, that kind of thing. And so I had to go do a quick little check and make sure I don't play around with that kind of stuff. We actually had probably about a month ago, we actually had a dude like walking around the neighborhood and walking up into people's yards and walking up in the, on the perimeter and all that kind of stuff. So, I trust her judgment anyway. So, but I'm back, and I know I'm sure we talked about some exciting things. Right, we've been going about an hour and a half, so it's probably about that time. We can sit up here and go at it all day, man. It's refreshing because we didn't get to do this in a week or so 2 weeks, so it's good to get back on it. She sensed you. That's what she's saying. She sensed you.
That's hurtful.
Yes, this is live. Devil Dog TV. This is live as we speak.
Yeah.
We are here in full effect.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I think you caught us at the end of the show, but yeah. We've
Yeah,
been going for
but
about
so
an hour and a half.
jump on next time, man. We're gonna be more consistent on it. Jumping back on, next week we'll get back on it more consistently. I done freed up a lot
Let's do
more. I
it.
just
Yeah.
finished up a couple classes, but so we'll be able to get back
Nice.
to it. But yeah, so for all those who don't know, man, we appreciate y'all coming out. Appreciate y'all listening. We're gonna go ahead and shut it down. Just to give you a little quick. If you're new to the show, understand that this is called Talking Points. That's the name of the show. It's for us. We come from similar backgrounds with the military, but different backgrounds with upbringing, and it's different, different perspectives, different beliefs. This is an open forum for us to discuss all things talking points. You know what I mean? And so whatever comments, questions, concerns, world issues, conspiracy theories, whatever you got, it is open for discussion, right? If you want to talk from everything from relevance to racism to whatever, this is all objective thinking. We are all in the pursuit of.
Yeah, nothing's off limits.
Yep.
We also have a YouTube channel called The Real Talking Points. One of my friends was able to make one of those things where you take a picture of it and then you can just click on it and it bring you right to it. So I'm gonna post that and the link and everything once he posts the video, and then we're gonna chop this up and we're gonna put it on our YouTube channel. If you guys want to come back later and dissect that, or follow us both on YouTube. Follow us both on Instagram, follow the YouTube channel. You're more than welcome to message us anytime if you want to see a specific topic covered. If you want to come on the show, we haven't had a guest yet. That would be pretty cool. We should bring it. We should bring a guest on. I have another friend who is thinking about starting her own show. So I think it'd be real cool to bring her on sometime in the beginning. No, we won't. We only do this about once a week. We do this about once a week. But I'll definitely make sure I send you an invite next time. I usually post my story a day before and then 5 minutes before, and then we go live. And I usually send individual messages to everybody in my little. I just go down there and send everybody on there.
Follow us, keep up with new content. You know what I'm saying? We'll be posting those short individual videos and things. We'll be posting those short individual things as well, and so it'll be really good, man. We're gonna have some good conversations coming up. A lot of the world is changing rapidly, so we need to wake up and smell the coffee. I'm gonna tell you, we need to wake up and smell the roses because we are on the verge of all the flower beds and everything that you love and hold dear being burnt to ash. So we need to wake up and see it. It's getting real out here, man. So we are open. We love y'all. We'll catch y'all next time. Be safe, and we out.